The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by KGTV Channel 10 in Ely, Nevada. White Pine County Regional Transportation Commission meeting, February 20th, 2020.
Where's the wood at? They called over. February 2020. Roll call. Here.
Jim Over.
Yep.
Here. Mike Sturgeon.
Here.
Mike Tricka.
Here.
Mark Huff.
Here.
Jeanette Truss. Oh, I'm here.
BJ, sit down here
Short.
so I can hear.
Thank you.
Sorry,
It's all right.
George.
You're down there on the phone farmer.
I can't hear you half.
Don't say nothing.
It's too late.
George will say it.
Public comment. George, what do you got going today?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Avenue D obstruction, Avenue D has an obstruction, that triangle in the center. On the ingress and egress, concrete triangle needs to come out. Stop signs are being run over. I don't know if you've noticed that, you're down for over 2 weeks. The curb and gutter needs to be put back 5 feet from the property line. That's code. The sidewalk area is not passable, not ADA compliant. Your rules, not mine. Curb and gutter was not installed prior to paving in front of Jack Van Camp's lot across from the Prospector. We put down new paving. City policy is new construction, you put in the curb and gutter. We're not doing that. For every step forward we go, we're taking 2 back. If you can't follow the policy set down, better start changing people out. Just that simple. The newly designed convention center does not meet walkway, does not meet minimum ADA requirements. The walkway is taken out. People are forced out in the street to go from one end to the other. ADA is at the far end, not close to the convention center. I don't know who designed it.
Well, let me correct that there, George. That when the rec brothers painted that, they painted wrong. So
That's fine.
They have to reverse it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Minimum requirements are still not met even with that. Okay? I don't care how much lipstick you put on there, you still got a ugly situation. Carol McKenzie has yet to address a non-ADA compliant sidewalk down in London. Again, we have rules and regulations. They apply to everybody, not just to some. Curb and gutter on 7th and D was put in, taken out. The one that's in now is poor design. Does not allow for proper ADA access, and it jets out into the street. On that particular corner, that should have been put in by the property owner the first time. Didn't happen. New property owner, new construction, still hasn't complied. You better review your rules and regulations. You're not doing that. Keith Carson has yet to finish the valley gutter down on Orson and Ruby, and he has yet to finish the curb and gutter along that trailer park down there. That needs to be addressed. We're going on years. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 3, discussion of possible action selection of RTC chairman position.
Not I, I said fly.
Wayne's doing an outstanding job.
Yeah, you know, I like having somebody neutral instead of a city or county person being chair, so stay there where you're at. I'm happy.
Is that a motion or?
Yeah.
I'll second that motion. Job.
That was, I don't know one kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll second the motion with the blessing of holy water.
Oh, boy, oh, my dear, holy water.
Yeah, it's hot. Burns. I'm in favor.
Aye.
Okay. Current NDOT project, Steve's not here. Has anybody heard when they're officially going to start on that Great Basin?
I think in April, about 4, I believe those will be approved in April.
Okay.
So hopefully by May they'll be starting.
Yeah, because we had Regina Pierce come out and talk to us for direction the Chambers last month, but she wasn't sure yet, so.
City of Ely projects.
Who's chatting on it?
I am. First, I want to thank Martin and Naomi and all the county people for all the help they've given me on getting my numbers and everything else and finding stuff, helping me come up with projects and stuff we've already started. We've done one oil stabilization on Belford. We want to do a second oil stabilization and a double chip to finish that off. Mills got needs an oil stabilization and a 1/2-inch chip applied, or has had an oil stabilization and a 1/2-inch chip applied. We need to go back over with a 3/8-inch chip. We wanna do something about the 1500 block in front of Avenue D, in front of Wheeler on Avenue D. We're gonna get soil stabilization done this year with that. We have some places where we wanna use cold mix to level out and fix the streets, one being 10th Street on the 2 blocks on the west side of the den up there. We also, in preparation of all the big slurry sill project, we want to do skim patches over Ruby Street and Ely Avenue on some really bad sections, so hopefully with the slurry sill that it's covering a good surface. We're just gonna continue crack sealing, fixing potholes, using the Durapatcher to smooth roads out, start prepping for any possible projects for the following fiscal year. Get a head jump, get the roads smooth surface as best we can while we're doing that.
What's your plans for starting to suck up some of the sand down the street?
That's we've already started sweeping this year. A lot of times this cold weather doesn't allow us to use our sweeper like today. We can't use it till it's above freezing. The sweeper won't even work until above freezing. We are asking for a mechanical sweeper along with the county to get a better go on it. Right now, the only sweeper that we have is the Johnston, the vacuum sweeper, and it's running really well. But one sweeper with all the streets we have in Ely where we can't really kick it off or just blow it off. We're trying to sweep right now ahead of what we're able to crack seal, so we're not having to make such a mess and blow a bunch of sand into the air when we're crack sealing to uncover the cracks. But we're hoping that the RTC allows us to get a mechanical sweeper to share with the county, and that would also allow us to help pay back the county for some of the extra hours that we have right now. If we have a mechanical sweeper in the city and we can send one out, and if the county needs us to go out just the same way to pay them back a little bit for like how they use the distribution trucks, then we can help catch up on the hours again and even them back out.
How are we doing this slurry? Are we contracting that?
Yes, that's,
Who we contracting?
Well, that's yet to be determined, Richard, because and it'll be later on the budget or on the agenda. But to answer that question, that's something that the county's looking at doing in Ruth, and then the city's looking to do X amount of yards in the city of Ely. So it'll have to go out to bid. So SNC, American, there's another one out there that we've used in the past, but that's going to be something that I think we're going to suggest that we use BJ and some of our contract services to put it out to bid to get the best price. But if we can combine the two projects, Ruth and what the city of Ely wants to do, the more yardage we're doing, the better price we're going to get per yard.
Is there any way for us, the city and the county, to slurry this ourselves or somehow get the
Not slurry projects.
Not slurry.
Slurry projects is more specialized equipment that we don't have.
It's not worth it to buy some equipment between the two?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Not a slurry, I don't think.
Slurry, we're looking at slurry in like Ruth and then different areas in the city of Ely, because you're dealing with curb and gutter and storm drain waters. So if we chip seal any of those streets where you have curb and gutter and storm drain water, the excess chips have to be picked up, which we can do, be very time consuming. It can be done, but it'd be very time consuming. So on the county end of it, any place that we can chip seal to where we don't have curb and gutter, we can just sweep those excess chips off to the shoulders of the road. That's what we'll do, because I believe that chip seal's a better product, number one, for this area that we're in. And number two, it's more cost effective for the county to do that in-house than slurry seals. But there are places where slurry seals is probably the better option.
The Mill Street project within the next few years will give the city a good idea how it's gonna work out for us, because we don't have, like right now, to plow the street, we're using a pickup truck and leaving the plow off the chips, so we're not pulling them up. I went and looked at that recently, and there is few spots where the chips are little loose, and hopefully that gets fixed as we go and do the 3/8 inch chip over top of it. But looking at that in Belford, that give us an idea of how it's gonna work a little bit better for us in town, if it's worth doing that instead of a cold mix overlay or skin patch on the bed of roads.
Is that what you do out on the Georgetown Ranch Road?
Yes.
That works good. And I was on that road, you're talking about Mill Street, I was on that just yesterday. The road's holding up pretty well. It really is a major addition, so kudos to you.
Well, I think that we need to use that distribution truck. That's the important part is, you know, we can come in here and we can do the skin patches, we can do these other rejuvenations and everything else, substantially cheaper. You know, you're paying a ton for a slurry. And so, you know, any place that we don't have to do slurry, I would say, you know, I was a big proponent in saying, hey, I think the distribution truck is important to have. This is a way we can do things, and if we can go in and, you know, spend a little bit less money in materials and get more work done, you know, that's money that can be banked, that we can come back in and actually then rebuild the street, which is truly what we need to get to at that point. Because all this stuff, the slurry, chip seal, everything, it's only a couple year little fix, little Band-Aid to last you a little while. And so, anyway, that's just my opinion.
Anything else, Mike?
No.
Mike, good? Okay. Martin, county projects, Curtis.
Well, county projects right now that we're doing doesn't really pertain to RTC at the moment. We have our budget numbers together and the current projects that we're going to be doing through RTC this spring and summer. Possibly with some monies that we have left in this fiscal year, depending on what the weather does in you know, May, June, before July, we'll start our mag chloride projects again. And I'm looking to get basically the whole town of roof crack sealed.
So you're gonna look at the Ruth community, what about Highway 44?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Highway 44, the one that leads up to the mine? Is that gonna be anything done this year on that?
No, that's not on my plans this year. My plan is the town of Ruth itself and then Highway 44. When we do that, and possibly the following fiscal year, that will be a chip seal.
Okay, yeah, 'cause it's going to hell fast.
I've been looking at it.
Shoulders,
We've got some shoulder work to do up there. The mine trucks are running the edge of that road pretty hard, and so they're breaking out the asphalt on the edge of the road. So possibly we might be doing some shoulder work up there this summer as time allows us to, but before we chip seal it, we will go back in there, and again, that might be the following fiscal year. We'll go back in there and fix all the shoulders before we chip seal it. So, it's on the radar.
Okay.
Can you get the mine maybe to help on that road like you did Ball Mountain helping on Indian? Since,
Possibly, to answer that, yes, possibly, but I'm gonna leave that to Bill, for when Bill's here.
Okay.
Because the mine, and I really don't know that much about it, but the mine already contributes X amount of dollars every year, for the maintenance of those roads. And I don't know what that dollar figure is.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, all right. Public transit budget, fiscal year 21.
Missing some?
It's on the backside. It's on the back of the agenda.
I say, it looks like this one.
Okay.
I got it, Martin, on that public transit, what's the equipment over $5,000, generator and trailer for the Long Valley Well, 7,500, what's that?
Okay, so what's going on there is, one of our biggest challenges on the Long Valley Road is the availability of water. So currently, we haul water from either the Advantage Project or the Mooney Basin Project, which is a long ways to haul water. So the mine, is working right now on, re-permitting their stock water, because the mine owns that ranch. So they have that allotment down there. So, you know, kind of where the old what we call the old regrind, right? There's a stock water off of there, but it's not big enough to really do us any good. So what the mine's doing is they're gonna redo that well on their dollar and get it permitted that the water will be able to be used for road maintenance, not just stock water. And then set us up either, and that's to be determined at this time, but either a standpipe or a water storage tank there to where we'll be able to pump and store water and be able to utilize it on that section of road. And then also, they're planning on drilling another well up closer to Hobson Summit, kind of down on that flat where that one gravel pit of ours is. That will be able to be used. So in that, we're gonna need a generator on a trailer that we can set in those two different locations and to have access to the electricity to pump those wells. So that's
So-
what that is.
So they'll supply the pump, and be somewhere like the Uwaldes up by 30 Mile?
Yeah, similar to that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, this is gonna be, the first well you talked about is on that corner, where there's some old trails and they do a horse gathering right there. Is that where the first well's gonna go in at?
No, it's south of that. It's almost, kinda in between there and the bottom of Indian Summit,
Okay, find a 30-mile turnoff,
yeah.
somewhere in there.
Well,
But it's not
just
just
a
off the
little
highway.
bit more south than that, but
Okay,
yeah,
alright.
that general area.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good idea.
And I'm working with, to go back just a little bit, I'm working with a Biotech right now to supply, mag chloride, frac tank to set on the top of Indian Summit, so if we wanna remag that road this spring, but I'm hoping with a frac tank set in that area that the mine will provide the mag chloride too, will allow us to take advantage of the natural moisture and get that road, remagged without having to haul too much water. Taking advantage of the natural moisture in the spring, depending on what we get.
Okay, on this, it doesn't show any RTC, excuse me, about the transit. City road expenditures is blank. Is there a reason for that?
The city's always used the public transit for its daily running costs for our supplies,
Why don't we have
utilities, maintenance.
Oh,
Well, one, we're just barely
we're
starting our
just
budget
starting our-
process.
We've met with, what we have is
We're just
preliminary.
getting a preliminary budget
And,
discussion right now.
167,000. And yeah, the number we have for.
167.
The 167.
That's just tentative.
Yeah, it's tentative.
I know Elizabeth's gonna be closing the window for these budgets, so they wanted to have these done this week.
This week.
But I can
Well,
talk
I'm
to-
sorry,
I
I
can talk to
tend
her
to
after.
disagree with that because we don't have to have our tentative budgets in. I realize we need to get it in as soon as possible, but we're doing what we can. I mean, we're trying to
know we're meeting.
accommodate it, but we are meeting on
Monday.
Friday.
Oh, Monday. With
Oh,
Mike,
that's right,
you
with
guys are
Mike,
leaving
it's gonna be
tomorrow, so
Monday, yeah.
They gotta meet.
They've got
Last
a
meeting.
training to go to tomorrow, so it'll be Monday before.
I'll just stop
I'm
and
gonna
talk to
be-
her. on
Okay,
the-
yeah,
after
which
this.
I can talk to
Then
her
we'll
too.
meet with our councilwoman Monday, and our board.
I get another question for Martin. In that equipment over 5,000, there's that 3/4 ton crew truck. Why is the public, and I'm just asking, why is the public transit buying that truck?
I don't know that I can answer that. I don't know the answer to that. And I'm gonna ask Naomi is typically the ones that we've bought the last several years, have they come out of public transit? Okay.
Okay, that they have, huh? Okay,
I can verify.
all right. 'Cause I thought that was always in the budget, equipment over 5,000, but I just follow the numbers, I don't see it. Okay. Good question on that, though.
Then in the equipment over 5,000, since we're talking about that at the moment, that's, we're asking for another 140M road grader this year. And with the guaranteed buyback program, like we've done the last 3 graders. And then our first grader on the buyback would be GR15, which will be next spring, and so will be being bought back by Wheeler Machinery for $267,000. So we're asking this year to spend estimated $337,000 on this grader, but then $267,000 will be going back into that line item. What is it? Not this March, but the following March, right? Yes.
So that just starts the whole process of your big long-term plan,
Yes,
trading back, buying new,
yes.
okay?
great plan.
On this equipment that the county's doing, how much of that are we sharing with the city at times?
Right now, there's only two pieces of shared equipment that the RTC actually owns. So the distributor truck and the heated oil tank and trailer that's being used for the Durapatch oil. That's the only two pieces of equipment we have right now.
We're asking the RTC this year to, the county wants to sell the RTC a grader for us to use in the city. It's a 140M grader. And purchasing this grader from the county at a trade-in value would be a significant upgrade over our current Champion grader, whose trade-in value is approximately $13,000. It has a lot of stuff wrong with it, and it's helping us to have with a significant upgrade, and the county would be trading it in, or would be using it for the trade-in value. So, they're able to recover the money, but we're asking the RTC to purchase that from the county as a shared RTC. No, this is for RTC.
Yeah, not public transit, RTC.
Yeah.
Different budget than what we're talking about right now.
Yes, what
No, I got
what's shared,
that.
what he was asking was what was shared, so that will be shared
It could.
also.
It could be.
Shared equipment if it's RTC, but.
What I'm trying to do is make sure that we're staying on even keel, city, county, as far as the budget part of the RTC goes. We're trying to be as equal and as equitable as we can. I'm just trying to look out for the county's interest, the same as the city
Oh,
does.
absolutely.
So that's why I asked the question, and as long as we can continue to work the way we're working as far as helping out each other, hey, every result for that. But the RTC is a double separate board, that's what we're here for. And we'll try to maintain the money being shared as much as we possibly can. In other words, I'm covering our ass.
Sure.
Okay.
That cab and chassis for the water truck, Martin, is that gonna be a manual transmission or automatic?
I'm sorry, yeah.
That cab and chassis for the water truck you're gonna put together, is that transmission gonna be automatic or manual?
I'm gearing more towards an automatic this time. But there's two case scenarios there. So that tank came off of a truck that we got rid of, that had a broken frame. And so to get an automatic, there might be a used one out there and there might not be. I don't know that at this point. To buy it, just the cab and chassis new, we're looking at around $145,000. The county has done something recently here that's going to allow us to look at purchasing used equipment also, rather than just new. And so I'm hoping that we can go to something like Ritchie Brothers or something like that and see if there isn't a newer used truck. So something in the 2000 year range, right? With possibly an automatic, I would go with an automatic. But if I can find a good used truck that we can be a little bit more fiscal responsible in buying for this, I would go with a standard transmission if that looked like it was the best option at the time for us.
Yeah, the reason I asked that is one thing you guys talked about using seasonal water truck drivers. And, first of all, you don't need, it's a different style license, but they're easier to drive.
Yes,
You're gonna have a
absolutely, I
lot
agree.
less probably truck damage. That's why I was wondering if you guys are still gonna use that concept in the future, for a planned seasonal, for example, Mike Crack.
Right.
He's an experienced driver, but you might get somebody that's not fully into the gears mode.
Right, absolutely. And, you know, and to speak to that also, you know, in speaking with one of the, Kenworth dealers down in Las Vegas, last year, they basically have told me within the next couple of years, it'll be very hard to find that style of truck without an automatic transmission. So, it's going that way anyway.
I know in my experience, when I had my water tender, doing road rehab, you have to have that really deep gear to go slow. That's the disadvantage of an automatic unless you get one that's gonna gear way down. But, okay, I just wondered.